The year is 2025, a time when the world feels more uncertain than ever before. In the heart of the Middle East, anxiety hangs thick in the air, cities brace for the unknown, as military convoys rumble through the night, and maps light up with new flashpoints. Tensions between Israel and Iran have reached a dangerous breaking point. Threats and counter-threats echo across borders, pushing both nations closer to open conflict than ever before. In Washington, President Trump addresses a nervous world, warning of the grave risks ahead. Diplomats from every corner of the globe scramble to broker a last-minute deal, hoping to avert disaster. At the center of the crisis is Iran's nuclear program, now officially declared in violation by the UN's nuclear watchdog. The international community is alarmed, fearing the consequences of unchecked escalation. Iran's response is defiant. The government unveils a new uranium enrichment plant crossing what Israel has long called its red line. The move is seen as a direct challenge, raising the stakes dramatically. Israel, feeling its very existence threatened, signals it may launch a preemptive strike within days. Military leaders prepare for the worst, as the nation holds its breath. Years of shadow conflict, cyber attacks, assassinations, and proxy wars have set the stage for this moment. Now, the world fears these covert battles could erupt into all-out war. Leaders on both sides refuse to back down, each framing the conflict as a fight for national survival. Rhetoric grows fiercer, and the possibility of compromise fades with every passing hour. Around the globe, people watch in disbelief and fear as the region teeters on the edge of catastrophe. The world holds its breath, hoping for peace, but bracing for the worst. Few remember that Iran and Israel were once close allies before the 1979 Iranian Revolution. The revolution transformed Iran into a fierce opponent of Israel, fueling decades of covert conflict. Assassinations, cyber attacks, and proxy wars replaced open diplomacy. Iran's axis of resistance, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and militias in Iraq and Syria, now encircle Israel. For Israel, these proxies are a constant threat. For Iran, they're a strategic shield. The core dispute: Iran's nuclear ambitions. Israel sees a nuclear Iran as intolerable. Iran insists its program is peaceful, but secrecy breeds suspicion. This fundamental clash has brought both nations to the brink in 2025. Israel and Iran's militaries are a study in contrasts. Israel boasts advanced technology, a powerful air force, and missile defenses like Iron Dome, plus a suspected nuclear arsenal. Iran relies on numbers, hardened facilities, and the region's largest missile stockpile. Israel's doctrine: strike first, strike hard, neutralize threats fast. But Iran's underground sites are tough targets, and Israel may need US help for a decisive blow. Iran's strategy: absorb attacks, retaliate fiercely, and activate proxies to open multiple fronts. Hezbollah's rockets, Houthi drones, and regional militias could turn a limited strike into a regional war. This web of threats makes any conflict unpredictable and potentially explosive. If war erupts, the situation could spiral out of control with alarming speed, catching the world's attention in an instant. Israel would likely launch a wave of airstrikes targeting Iran's nuclear facilities, aiming to cripple its nuclear program. At the same time, both sides would unleash cyber attacks, disrupting power grids, communications, and critical infrastructure, plunging cities into chaos and confusion. Iran would retaliate fiercely, firing volleys of missiles at Israeli cities and US military bases in the region. Their goal would be to inflict heavy casualties, cause widespread panic, and force Washington to respond militarily. Iran's network of proxies, Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and powerful Iraqi militias, would open new fronts on Israel's borders and attack Western interests, stretching Israeli and allied defenses thin and threatening to destabilize neighboring countries. The economic fallout would be immediate and severe. Oil prices would skyrocket as Iran disrupts shipping through the vital Strait of Hormuz, sending shockwaves through global markets and threatening energy supplies worldwide. Millions of civilians could be forced to flee their homes, overwhelming neighboring countries with refugees and triggering a massive humanitarian crisis that would demand urgent international aid. The conflict would not remain limited to one area. Instead, it would rapidly engulf the entire region, drawing in more countries and escalating into a much larger war. What might begin as a targeted military operation could quickly transform into a sprawling, devastating war with consequences that would be felt far beyond the Middle East. The specter of nuclear weapons looms over any Iran-Israel conflict, casting a long and terrifying shadow across the region. The mere possibility of their use changes the stakes, making every decision fraught with unimaginable consequences. Israel's undeclared arsenal is its ultimate deterrent, a silent force that has kept adversaries at bay for decades. Yet in a moment of desperation or miscalculation, this restraint could break, unleashing devastation on a scale the world has never seen in the Middle East. Even without a bomb, Iran might feel compelled to race for one if attacked, setting off a dangerous regional arms race. The fear of annihilation could drive nations to pursue nuclear capabilities, further destabilizing an already volatile region. U.S. involvement risks a rapid escalation, drawing in Iran's powerful allies and potentially entangling global powers like Russia and China. The conflict could quickly spiral beyond the region, threatening international security and peace. The war's costs would be staggering: countless lives lost, families torn apart, economies shattered, and the Middle East plunged into chaos and uncertainty for generations to come. Israel might succeed in delaying Iran's nuclear ambitions, but the price would be immense, both in human suffering and regional stability. Iran would emerge battered, its infrastructure devastated, but its resolve hardened, fueling further instability and deepening the cycle of conflict. In the end, war offers only shared ruin, a stark warning to all who watch from afar, reminding us that the true price of conflict is paid by everyone, not just those on the front lines.